It's hard enough to make it in music and have even one hit song. Never mind the type of sustained success that a band like Faith No More has had now for many decades. They truly captured lightning in a bottle. But unfortunately, writing great music is only one challenge that a band will face over the course of their career. There are so many things that can go wrong and cause issues in a group. Oftentimes, it's the internal dynamic between members that can cause them to go on extended hiatuses. We've seen bands like System of a Down deal with issues like this, and unfortunately, this is a similar issue that Faith No More has been dealing with now over the last several years. And drummer Mike Bordin is not afraid to speak about it. He says he wants it to be on the record as to what this band has truly been dealing with behind the scenes with their vocalist Mike Patton. He says the other members of the band really want to perform live for their dedicated fans around the world, but he says Patton is simply unwilling to perform with the band. Here's what's going on. It was back in 2021 when Faith No More was scheduled to go out on tour, and they had a number of shows lined up, when unfortunately vocalist Mike Patton announced that those shows wouldn't be going forward due to some medical and drinking issues he had been dealing with. He said at the time, "Sorry to report that due to mental health reasons, I cannot continue with the currently scheduled Faith No More and Mr. Bungle dates. I have issues that were exacerbated by the pandemic that are challenging me right now. I don't feel I can give what I should at this point, and I am not going to give anything less than 100%. I am sorry to our fans and hope to make it up to you soon. The band support me in this decision, and we look forward to walking through this in a healthy way." But Faith No More, in a statement of their own, told a different story. They said, "To say that we feel shattered by these cancellations would be a complete understatement. It has been a real challenge to return to this music after a 5-year absence. But we've been working hard for a few months now, and these last few rehearsals left no doubt that we were back to top form, which makes the statement very difficult to write." In a 2022 interview with The Guardian, Mike Patton revealed that he was initially excited by the pandemic, saying that he could keep to himself and be somewhat antisocial, but at some point, the drinking set in. He said, "My initial response to the pandemic was, I love this shit. It allowed me to be an antisocial motherfucker. I had maybe 3 months of that. This is fucking awesome. Then something changed, and not for the better." He said later, "Because I was isolated so much, going outside was a hard thing to do, and that's a horrible thing. And the idea of doing more Faith No More shows, it was stressful. It affected me mentally. I don't know why, but the drinking just happened." Now, thankfully, Patton did seek treatment for his drinking, and he's on a better path. He said, "I'm afraid of myself. The band is rock solid, and I want to make sure that I bring it. There are a few issues going on." But in a brand new interview, drummer Mike Bordin sounds like his patience is wearing thin. The rest of the band stands totally ready to perform with Faith No More, and probably has a difficult time watching Patton go out and perform with Mr. Bungle while they're unable to perform live, and there are so many fans around the world who would love to see Faith No More perform, myself included. He had some really interesting things to say about that, including he wants it to be out there on the record, the reason why the band isn't performing, and it has nothing to do with the band. Instead, it has to do with their frontman, Mike Patton. Here's what he had to say. Speaking on a new episode of Dean Del Rey's podcast, Bordin opened up and said that he really wants fans to understand why exactly these shows aren't happening. He told him, "All I can say is, and I think I do want this to be on the record actually, because we don't promote ourselves. We don't talk about ourselves. And that's really been to our detriment. But we'd been rehearsing for 6 months for these dates in September, October 2021. We'd been rehearsing instrumentally, and we incredibly sounded phenomenal. I mean, the bass player said, I've never heard us sound this good. This is how these songs sounded in my mind, and we've never gotten that on album, on live, whatever. I mean, we were ready, we were prepared, and it came to pass that when the gear was in the truck, when it was rolling to Chicago, 36 hours before we were supposed to be on stage, and our guy doesn't show for the rehearsal, the one rehearsal that we're going to do. And we go see him and see what's going on. What the hell's going on here? Our gear's rolling already to the gig, and it was very clear that he was unable at that point to physically do it. We made the decision that, look, we've got to support our guy. It's going to be a shitstorm, canceling 75 shows, but none of us want to be the guy that breaks his back and forces him to do something that he's not in the position to be able to do. It wasn't even an argument. The only argument was, how the f did we logistically do this? Because we have to. I mean, we did support him in our way, and whether that's perceived or not is beyond, I can't control it. So we pull these shows and just wait to see. Hopefully things are better and try to find out what we can do around the edges. But ultimately, shows get started to get booked with another band. Of course, mentioning Mr. Bungle there. So Bordin is pointing out here what I think a lot of fans have also picked up on, which is that at first Mike Patton is saying, hey, he wasn't physically in a position to perform with Faith No More. And then he starts doing all these other shows, continuing to book shows to this day with Mr. Bungle. So there's got to be something else going on that has led him not to be up on stage with the band. And clearly his own bandmates have noticed, he continued saying. So it's my take, my position, my statement on it is that he's gone from being unable to do the shows to clearly being unwilling to do shows with us, and that's heavy. That's a big difference. That's a big difference. And we haven't really had much dialogue on it. It doesn't feel great to me. It's honestly kind of hurts my feelings a little bit, but that's personal. That's a private thing. It's business. We were never going to force somebody to do something that they weren't able to do, and now, as I say, it looks like it's more really about being willing to do it. He says he is grateful for what Patton has given to us. I mean, we're blessed to have been blessed by such a gigantic, enormous talent. In the future, I don't know. Will he be willing to do stuff or not? It's not for me to say. And as I mentioned earlier, this is the type of thing that seems to happen often with bands where you have a number of the members of the group ready to go full steam ahead, and then there's one holdout, and then the entire band ends up getting hamstrung by the situation. And a lot of people would say, hey, we'll just get a new vocalist. That's really hard to do when you have an iconic frontman like Mike Patton, who really in many ways defined the band's sound with his signature vocals. Easier said than done, but at a certain point, you got to make that decision. You've heard members of System of a Down say in the past, maybe they made a mistake not changing frontmen and sitting on the sidelines all this time. Of course, though, System of a Down continues to put on phenomenal live shows, so I don't know if that's really necessary. I don't think the band has to release new music, but with Faith No More, it's a different dynamic. They're not even able to perform shows, which is unfortunate, and I really do hope, rather than just this being a contentious thing, that the members can just work it out. He didn't say anything wrong there. He's just expressing how he felt in a very professional and classy way, just saying how he feels. So hopefully Mike Patton will see this and really consider giving his bandmate a call and working out the reasons why they haven't been able to get up on stage, because there's so much love and appreciation for Faith No More out in the world. This band is so good. I would love to be able to see this band up on stage. And I think, it sounds like maybe Mike Patton is dealing with some self-doubt. He says he wants to be 100%, but I don't think people have ever complained that this band doesn't put on a good show. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Faith No More is such an important band to rock. We need them back up on stage, and I would love to see that happen. That's your latest update here from Rock Feed. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for the latest news and updates.